my god, look at that. Holy sugar. Jeez. Oh, holy son of a beach ball. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god, look at that. Holy sugar. Jeez. Oh, holy son of a beach ball. Oh my god, look at that.
How's it going, guys? It's Adam here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the OnePlus 7 Pro and if it holds up into 2023 and going into 2024. Now, this phone was released in 2019 and it's just crazy. It's almost 5 years old, and so as a result, this phone actually has held up really well. You would think with most Android phones, after 5 years it would basically be unusable, and there's plenty of examples of that, but that is not the case with this phone right here. This phone is holding up basically perfectly. It's still on pretty new software, not the latest, but it's still on pretty new software, and it's performing pretty great. But let's go into it fully in this full review of the OnePlus 7 Pro. Let's start off with this design. The design is really good, even for 2023 going into 2024. It's very thin, it has a metal sides and a glass back, as well as a glass front, with still a volume up and down, as well as an alert slider, which a lot of the newer OnePlus phones do not have. So pretty impressive there. On the back, you have the triple camera setup, and on the front, you have no camera. Well, that's what it seems like at first, but what you realize is that it goes into like this. So pretty cool. This is not seen on a lot of Android phones. Many phones don't really have this anymore. Most of them just have punch holes, or actually just have the camera hidden by having new screen technology that almost hides the camera, but then the camera performance is poor on the selfie camera. With this, there's no problems with this. It's perfect because it's a pop-up camera, it doesn't take that long, and when you drop it, it just recedes basically back into its original state like this. So it's basically perfect. In terms of the screen, let's talk about the screen. The screen is a 6.67 inch 1440p OLED display, and it gets pretty bright. Not as bright as some 2023 or 2024 flagships, but still very bright, as you can tell. And overall, it's pretty great. It's also 90 Hertz, so it feels very fluid. And the Snapdragon 855 still makes it pretty stutter free in terms of the screen refresh rate. Not really dipping below 90 Hertz, always staying at that. Obviously, some games don't support 90 Hertz, especially on this OnePlus 7 Pro as it is getting older, but there are plenty of games that do support 90 Hertz, and obviously the home screen is one of the areas where it does support 90 Hertz, and that's where you are mainly going to be, as well as web browsing still supports 90 Hertz. And yeah, so in the main core areas, it supports 90 Hertz, and the screen is very bright. It's curved is the only thing that some people don't like, but I actually prefer. It makes it look even more beautiful in its design. And yeah, I have no complaints with this screen, except that maybe it should be a little bit brighter, but considering 2019 standards, it was way further in, you know, the flagship area than it should be considering its original price. Let's go on to the cameras. So like I said in the beginning, this is a triple camera setup. We have the main 48 megapixel camera, we have the ultra wide camera, which is 16 megapixels, and then we have an 8 megapixel telephoto camera. All of these photos, honestly, with the camera are very saturated and look pretty vibrant. They have a good amount of detail, especially the main camera. The ultra-wide camera is a little bit lackluster. The telephoto camera actually does a really good job. It's a 3x zoom, so as a result, you can get very up close to things, and you can shoot from very far away places, and it almost actually acts as a macro mode. The ultra-wide actually does have autofocus, so technically it could do macro mode, but it doesn't. And when you do go up close to stuff though, it does a pretty good job. These cameras, what I would say about them is that they'll be nowhere as good as somewhere like a 2023 or 2024 flagship, but what I will say is that they do go into about mid-range status. And honestly, for the price, it's totally good. It's definitely a lot better than other phones in that price range. The selfie camera is kind of the same way. It's very vibrant, it's very saturated, so if you like those saturated, vibrant photos, then it will be great. But what I would say is that the detail isn't amazing, and the video is actually, though, pretty good. So, how's the performance on this thing? Honestly, this performance is pretty good. With the software on Oxygen OS 11, I'm having no problems with any games, such as Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG, anything like that. And obviously the basic games run really well too. Not everything supports 90 Hz, so I don't think Call of Duty Mobile supports 90 Hz and some other games don't, but overall, the performance is amazing. This has 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, and the RAM is plenty enough. And overall, it's very, very fluid in its experience. There's no stutters, and I can actually show you right now kind of how it looks like. Obviously, you're not going to be really watching this in 90 FPS, but you are going to be watching this in 60, and you can kind of tell it's very, very good in terms of its performance. And obviously, that's just the home screen, but what I found is basically everything from web browsing to gaming does perfectly fine on the Snapdragon 855. What I would say though, if you want to go for the ultimate pop-up camera experience, I would definitely recommend the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition. That's actually only going for a few, maybe about 50 or 100 bucks more than this. And for that price, you are getting a Snapdragon 855 Plus. You're getting 12 gigabytes of RAM. And also the design is just absolutely awesome on that thing. And so, yeah. There's a few other things. Basically the software isn't amazing, just because of how many updates there is. Not saying that Oxygen OS is bad, it's just basically saying that Oxygen OS won't support this phone for that much longer. So as a result, you might want to custom ROM this or something like that, or yeah, or you could just deal with Oxygen OS 11, which has been pretty great. And I actually am getting still updates, as you can tell. I actually need to update now right here. So you can still get updates, probably security updates and stuff like that, but I don't know how much longer major updates are going to be going on for. So as a result, this phone overall though is really, really good. This phone basically has everything going for it. So overall, this phone is a really good deal. So I want to talk about the price. The price for this phone is ranging between $150 to $200. And in that price, you're looking at some phones like the Moto G Play and maybe the Poco phones, you know, but that's even a little bit higher than this. And so when you're comparing something like the Moto G Play to this beats it like no comparison. The design is still great and the performance is still great. And you can run basically things at 60 FPS or 90 FPS in some cases. So overall, this is a strong recommendation for the OnePlus 7 Pro. I highly recommend this phone in 2023, going into 2024, and even late 2024, going into 2025. This is going to be a great phone for a while. I would say right now is the perfect time to buy. I would, you know, like I said, I would recommend maybe the 7T Pro McLaren Edition, but only because it has a slightly better processor and it's only a little bit more expensive. So yeah, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've been going crazy with all of that, the views, the watch time, and the subscribers, so just keep on subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.